I wish you had known these 10 helpful uses of parchment paper in the kitchen sooner. Hi everyone, it's Tracy. Today I'll show you how parchment paper can be very helpful in the kitchen beyond just lining a pan for baking. You'll definitely be surprised by what it can do, especially tips number 4 and 6. I think you'll want to use them in your everyday cooking. Let's get started. First is another simple trick that makes storing butter much easier, especially when you're making dishes like buttered popcorn. First, cut a suitable piece of butter to add to your pan. But if you've ever tried cutting butter with a knife, you know how easily it sticks to the blade and makes a mess. A simple fix is to take a small piece of parchment paper and wrap it around the blade before cutting. Then go ahead and slice the butter. This way the butter won't stick to the knife and everything stays cleaner and easier to handle. You can also use this method to portion the remaining butter. Cut it into small even pieces for later use and place a small piece of parchment paper between each slice. This helps prevent them from sticking together. When you're done, gently wrap the butter pieces in parchment. Place them in a container and store them in the refrigerator. Later you can simply take out the amount you need without any trouble. Now let's get back to making the popcorn. Add a piece of butter to the pan and heat it over medium heat until it melts completely. Then add the corn kernels along with a little sugar for a light sweetness. One common problem is that popping corn can cause oil to splatter onto the lid, making cleanup more difficult. So to keep the lid clean while the popcorn pops, take a sheet of parchment paper slightly larger than the lid. Place it over the top of the pan, then cover it with the lid. This helps prevent oil from splattering onto the lid, keeping it much cleaner. As the popcorn starts popping, you'll hear a gentle crackling sound, which is very satisfying. The best part is that you don't have to worry about a messy lid or extra cleanup. When the popping slows down, simply remove the oil-stained parchment paper and discard it, then enjoy your freshly made crispy and delicious popcorn. Now let's prepare another dish that's just as appealing, which is pasta. First, add the pasta to a pot of boiling water to cook. When boiling pasta, you'll notice the water often bubbles up quickly and can easily overflow and splatter, making a mess on your stove. To prevent this, you can create a simple anti-overflow lid using parchment paper. Start by folding the parchment paper the same way you did when cutting it to fit the pot. Then trim it into a round shape. This time, before opening it, cut a small piece off the pointed tip. When you open it, you'll have a round sheet with a small hole right in the center. This small hole acts as a vent, allowing steam to escape, while still controlling the foam. Place this parchment paper directly on top of the pot while the pasta is boiling. The parchment works as a barrier, helping reduce foam and splashing without completely sealing the pot. As a result, the cooking process becomes more stable. The foam is better controlled, and you won't have to worry about water overflowing. The pasta will cook gently, becoming soft, golden, and delicious. After the pasta is cooked, let's prepare the sauce. Take about 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, peel them, and get ready to crush them. Normally, when you crush garlic on a cutting board, it tends to scatter and stick everywhere, making a mess and difficult to clean. Instead, place the garlic on a sheet of parchment paper. Then use the bottom of a glass jar or a cup to press down firmly. The parchment paper helps keep everything in one place, so the garlic is crushed neatly without splattering. It also prevents the garlic from sticking to your tools or the surface, making cleanup much easier. Crushing garlic this way keeps everything neat and tidy. Next, sauté the garlic with a little oil in a pan, then add some finely chopped onion and a bit of meat, and cook until everything is evenly done. Season with a little seasoning to your taste. And finally add a bit of tomato paste to create a light tangy flavor and a nice color for the sauce. Add about 3 tablespoons of sauce and let it cook until it comes to a gentle boil. The remaining tomato paste also needs to be stored properly. You can use parchment paper to portion and store it for later use. It's very simple. Just prepare a few small pieces of foil and place them on a flat surface like a cutting board or a plate. Scoop small spoonfuls of tomato paste onto the surface, then place another sheet of parchment paper on top. You can use the bottom of a cup to gently press them so they flatten slightly, don't spread and take up less space. Then add another spoonful on top of the parchment, cover it with another sheet of parchment paper, and repeat this process until everything is used. Finally, place them into a small container and store them in the freezer to use gradually later. This sauce, once frozen, is very easy to use. You can simply take out one piece at a time for cooking without worrying about sticking or difficulty removing it. Each portion is separated by a layer of parchment paper, which is very convenient and hygienic. Now back to the tomato sauce. Once it comes to a boil and everything is fully cooked, turn off the heat. All that's left is to plate everything. Start with the pasta, then gently spoon the sauce over the top. Add a few sprigs of parsley for garnish, and you'll have a complete plate of delicious, rich, and flavorful pasta. Most importantly, the cooking process becomes much more convenient and practical thanks to parchment paper. Next, let's use parchment paper for its original purpose, lining the pan. But I want to show you a smarter and more effective way, completely different from what you may have done before. Start by preparing a piece of parchment paper that's a suitable size for lining your pan. Fold it in half, then fold it in half again. Next, fold it diagonally to create a pointed shape. Turn your pan upside down and place the folded parchment on top. Measure from the center of the pan to the edge, then cut along a curved line to match the shape of the pan. When you unfold it, you'll have a perfectly sized piece that fits neatly inside. Now place it into the center of the pan and you can easily use it to cook bacon. Spray a little cooking oil on the parchment and heat it over low heat. Once it's hot, place each slice of bacon on top and let it cook slowly. The parchment acts like a non-stick layer, preventing the meat from sticking while also keeping your pan clean without greasy residue. This can save you quite a bit of time when it comes to cleaning up after cooking. When the bacon is done, take it out and you'll clearly see the difference. Now you can reuse that same piece of parchment to fry an egg. Crack one egg onto it and you'll have a perfect, beautiful fried egg. Have you tried this method before? That's it, everything is done. And if you have leftover bacon after cooking, don't put it straight into the freezer right away, because the slices will stick together, making it very difficult to take them out later. Instead, prepare a sheet of parchment paper in a suitable size. Gently place each slice of bacon onto the paper, leaving about 2 to 3 centimeters of space between each piece. This small gap helps prevent them from sticking together. Once everything is arranged carefully, roll up the parchment paper. As you roll, each slice of bacon will be neatly wrapped and kept separate inside the paper, preventing them from touching each other. After rolling, use scissors to cut between the gaps, separating each portion. Finally, place all the pieces into an airtight container and store them in the freezer. This way, each slice stays separate and easy to use later. Whenever you need some, just take out the amount you need without any hassle. Do you like French fries? My kids absolutely love this dish, so let's make it together. First, you need to cook the potatoes, but instead of boiling, try this easier method. Take a sheet of parchment paper, place the cut potatoes inside, and wrap them tightly to keep the moisture in. Then put it in the microwave and cook on medium to high heat for about 3 minutes. This step helps soften the inside of the potatoes quickly, so they're already tender before frying. When you take them out, you'll see they are soft and partially cooked, which is exactly what we want. Now to get that golden crispy outside, while keeping the inside soft and moist, we'll move on to frying. But instead of using a large amount of oil in the whole pan, here's a cleaner and more efficient trick. Take a rectangular sheet of parchment paper, fold it in half, then fold it in half again. Open it up then, from the pointed top fold both sides outward to form a triangle. Repeat the same on the other side. Then fold both side edges inward. Finally, fold the edges down to create a small box shape. Just follow carefully and you'll end up with a neat little box like this. Next, place the parchment paper liner into the pan, then pour in enough oil so the potatoes are fully submerged for frying. Turn the heat to medium and let the oil heat up. Once it's hot, add the potatoes and fry until they turn golden and crispy. With this method, the fries cook evenly because they are fully surrounded by oil while using much less oil than usual. It also helps keep your pan cleaner, making the whole process more convenient and less messy. In the end, you'll have a plate of delicious golden crispy fries. Watching my kids enjoy their favorite snack like this is always such a lovely moment. After frying, instead of throwing the oil away, you can save it for later use. But pouring the oil back into a bottle can be quite tricky and easy to spill. To fix this, take a sheet of parchment paper and gently roll it into a cone shape to create a funnel. Hold it firmly, then place the pointed end of the funnel into the mouth of a bottle or jar. Slowly pour the oil through the parchment funnel. It will guide the oil to flow evenly into the container without dripping or spilling. The coated surface of the parchment paper also helps the oil flow more easily. This method helps keep your kitchen clean and makes the whole cooking process much more controlled. You can reuse the oil for other purposes very effectively. This is also a habit I often follow to save money and reduce waste oil going into the environment. And those are 10 simple but incredibly useful parchment paper hacks you can start using right away in your daily routine. From cooking and cleaning to storing food more efficiently, these small tips can save you time, reduce mess, and make everything feel a little easier in the kitchen. If you found even one of these helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Tracy Tips for more practical ideas like this. I'd love to know which tip you'll try first, so feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.